So, intuition. I wanted to let you guys know how I really kind of came into like really owning my intuition because I think that in this story, I'm really sharing it in service of you. For all of you out there that are probably intuitive and don't know it yet. So, as you guys know, in the coaching that I do, maybe some of you don't, but I did my training 5 years ago, and a part of coaching is actually bringing in your intuition. And during some of those initial courses that I had and working with other people and coaching other coaches that were in training, they started to say like, "Wow, like you were really intuitive," and I was like, "Yeah, well, we're supposed to, like." Bring our intuition, right? Like that's what I'm doing. And they're like, yeah, well, I don't do it like that. Like you're doing something different. And what tends to happen, and this is why I'm sharing it with you guys, is when we just are a certain way because it's like an innate gift of ours that we don't tend to recognize it as a gift or a strength. No one ever nurtured it in us. And sometimes we need other people to sort of be this mirror for us and to call it out and for us to hear it often enough where we really start owning it and recognizing it as a trait. So, um, that was really like how I came to it. I feel like I had to basically like be beat over the head, right, with like this strength within myself before I recognized it. And I want you guys to know that the majority of you have this as well, but you just haven't had that mirror yet, that person to call it out and be like, hey, you're really good at this. But there's a way. There's a way to do it. So my challenge for those of you that are wanting to be more intuitive is to actually start voicing intuitions that you have with other people in conversation and interactions, even things about yourself, being willing to be like, hey, I have this intuition, and being willing to say it so that when it comes true, right, when it comes to fruition, then you're actually able to be like, I knew it. I had this like inkling about that. It's going to feel a little bit weird. I definitely know that coaching colleagues that I have were like all about like really being bold and taking risks and being willing to be wrong. And I mean, I think that's just a great quality to have in general, but you will feel really random. Like there's going to be times when you're like, why am I getting this image of a person in a hula skirt? And it's going to be hard for you to be willing to be like, hey, I know this is random, but like I keep seeing you in a hula skirt. Like what's that about? Right. And it's really a practice in like being okay with being wrong and not like just letting it go, because if anything it's like a random funny moment where they're going to be like, what are you talking about? And that's it, right? Like we like to make up a lot of things in our head that actually are not true. So what you will probably start to notice is that more of those random thoughts are actually true than what you might think initially, but you have to voice them and say them in order to have that confirmation. And that you will, in those random interactions, in those random moments, start to trust more intuition for yourself and things that come in for you when you start to notice these little moments of confirmation with other people. So that's a little challenge for you guys that want to start growing your intuition.